Hello and welcome to this special episode of the Williams Pulse podcast. Today in the studio we have Taylor Jeffery back with us. She is the campus therapist, and today I want to have her share some mental hacks, some therapy tips, specifically on self-care, because that seems to be an area that is often neglected by busy, overwhelmed college students. Anyways, Taylor, can you speak to self-care today for us?
Absolutely, yeah. So I think, first of all, just defining self-care could be really helpful. Self-care is not indulgence.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's not just like bubble baths and candles, though that could be self-care. For some, it maybe isn't, for everyone. And so I just want to talk about what self-care is and how it can be helpful and maybe what it is not even. A quick definition of self-care that I think is kind of my go-to to share with clients is it's about sustainability. It helps you move from one moment to the next with more stability and feeling like more support for you have supported yourself.
Why is self-care so hard for people, specifically college students?
Well, college students in general probably really are overwhelmed a lot of the time, busy. They're managing a lot of things like classes, work, friends, life back at home. And so I think self-care can just feel like there's no time, there's no time for that. There's no extra margin in their life to prioritize that. They're maxed out. So busyness, I think also self-care can feel selfish to some people. I think we equate our self-worth sometimes with level of productivity. And so to take a time out from being productive might feel
selfish.
Self-centered.
Yeah. I feel that way a lot, obviously. And I guess everybody probably does to some extent. So what are some ways to self-care?
Well, there's three main categories of self-care that I go over with clients pretty routinely, actually, because I think everybody struggles with this. But there's restorative self-care, protective self-care, and a more integrative type of self-care. So restorative self-care is just going to be those things that are routine practice, right? So getting enough sleep every night, prioritizing a solid 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night, getting enough movement, exercising your body, using your body to do fun things, get outside, having quiet time. Spiritual disciplines, for sure, practicing the spiritual disciplines are super restorative to your body, to your soul, to your mind, to your spiritual formation. Also, even just being alone without guilt, that's super restorative. Allowing your thoughts space to just filter through your mind, to let your thoughts pass through you. The next category is...
So wait, that was restorative self-care? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever restores your energy levels, prevents depletion.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and then the second one, protective.
Yeah, protective self-care. This reduces feeling maxed out, stretched thin, overextended. These are the relational burnout helps. Has anybody...
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So have you ever felt like people keep asking you to do things and you're kind of maxed out, but you feel like you can't say no?
Nope.
You don't ever feel like that.
Nope.
Or things keep piling up, and
never feel that way. I'm just kidding. I feel that way a lot. Yeah.
It's hard to know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
But drawing a line is a type of self-care. You can't do it all 100% of the time. So I like to say this, you can't give 100% of yourself in 100% of your life 100% of the time. You just can't. Sometimes you have to dial it back. And so this looks like things like boundaries, saying no to some things, limiting people's access to you, maybe limiting your access to social media, reducing things that make you feel overwhelmed. Maybe not eating in the cafeteria that day. Maybe you go to the grill where there's less people, or you eat in your room quietly. It's just reducing things that make you feel overwhelmed.
Okay, that makes sense to me. And what is the third way of self-care?
This one is more of an integrative approach to self-care. This is going to look like therapy, journaling, if that's your thing, meaningful routines that in your day-to-day life that align with your purpose or values-based living. So this is an area that focuses on your whole self and engaging intentionally in tasks that are meaningful and help you feel like you're pouring out in ways that also nourish you.
Well, those three things make sense. So at the beginning, though, you said self-care is not bubble baths, a lit candle, long walks on the beach, right?
Well, it can be, but it's not just that. And for some people, that would be like horrible, not self-care, but it can be those things, but it can also be so much more.
What is that deeper level of what self-care is not that we often get confused about?
Yeah, so great question. Self-care is not avoidance. It's not just pushing things down or ignoring things. Self-care is also not numbing your problems or your emotions. It's not things that are going to just numb you out. It's not just like doom scrolling. Self-care should not feel forced. It's not something that it's like, I have to have mastery over this. And if I don't, then I'm a failure. Self-care, a general rule of thumb is if it leaves you more depleted, it's not self-care.
All right. So boots on the ground, practical steps. What were some good takeaways for students or immediate helps? Something actionable, I guess.
No one's asking anyone ever to like overhaul their whole life. You know, that's not the goal here. I would say maybe just pick one small shift that you can make in your life to prioritize your needs and create some margin to like just kind of tend to yourself, your emotions, your thoughts. And so maybe for some people, it's like not engaging in a specific conversation. Maybe it's reducing social media time. Maybe it's just, you know, when you feel overwhelmed, taking a couple minutes to do some deep breathing. Maybe it's protecting a boundary. Maybe it's saying, hey, I need more structure. I'm just going to make sure that I have a bedtime, you know, that I go to sleep and make sure I'm eating and hydrating regularly. I think that the biggest factor in this is consistency, like not perfection, but just being consistent with these small little changes. And that has big impact, you know, and that stabilizes your nervous system. And so when you feel like you are on overdrive or all your tabs are open all the time in your brain, these can kind of help you close out some tabs, take a breath, pause, see what you need in that moment to help you keep going and show up in meaningful ways in your life.
Well, all that makes sense to me. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so a fun example I like to share with people is like when you're on an airplane, you know how what is she called? The flight attendant?
Yes.
Yeah, the flight attendant comes up and does like the little paperback book in your chair behind you or in front of you. And then she does like all the pointy finger things. You know, it's like this is here and that's there. And if the plane goes down, do this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay. Well, at some point in that spill, she talks about if the cabin loses pressure, a little mask will drop down. And she always says, or he, I guess, I've had male flight attendants.
Chris Farley was one in Tommy Boy. But keep going.
Yeah, so they always say when the mask drops down, put your mask on first and then help others around you, like your kids or the elderly or just your neighbor. And the reason is they don't say this because that's kind of like DEFCON 5, you know, when you want people to be at ease when they're flying. But the reason is because you can't help anyone if you're dead. And so you have to take care of yourself. I like to apply this little analogy. You have to take care of yourself and meet the needs that you have so that you can show up for other people. Because you're no good to others if you're burnout and you're stressed and you can't think straight and you haven't slept and you're not eating, you know. So self-care is just really important. I think that's a good thing to kind of begin thinking about at the beginning of the semester to kind of bring to the forefront of our mind, because that sets us up for sustainability and to feel regulated and optimal success for the rest of the year. Yeah, so burnout prevention, that's what self-care is. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, Taylor, if a student wants to learn more or maybe they found this really intriguing and they want to talk more with you about this, do you still have availability where students can come by your office or schedule a consultation?
Yeah, absolutely. They can use the website to schedule a consultation with me anytime. When they reach out, I will get back to them as soon as possible to get that scheduled.
Thank you so much for this pro mental hack health tip. However, we're going to say all that. Hey, thank you for your time. And yeah, if you need to talk with somebody, Taylor is here to help you.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Thank you. You're
Always
welcome.
An honor.
Hey, my pleasure. Chick-fil-A.